Hi, welcome to Forgotten Legends of Sound. We are doing another one of these videos. This time we are aboard the cruise, 70,000 tons of metal, and this is the last night, so we're done with all the shows. We've seen nearly everything, and we're just going to do a quick recap of just getting our opinions and just a few thoughts or whatever, just in a short video. So we thought that'd be kind of fun. I'm going to be the host or whatever. I'm going to just ask everyone just like 3 simple questions. What was your favorite show or favorite band, favorite experience or whatever, what was a disappointing show or disappointing experience or whatever. And then also, what was something that was like unexpected, something that kind of surprised you. And it's kind of open to whether it's bands or just something you experienced or whatever. So we're going to kind of just go in a row, just starting with Kevin. But I guess first question, it was a good time, right, guys? Like it was pretty fun.
Absolutely.
It was pretty good, yeah. So
100% we'll do it again.
and real quick, like for those of us who are familiar with the channel and everything, we've had Jake on before. We've had Branden on before.
One time before.
But we do want to introduce Bryan, whose brother with him, like they look alike.
Kind of like
twins.
each other.
Kind of like we're twins and everything. So we wanted to introduce Bryan and everything. I'll just let Bryan share a little bit about like his music history and everything before we jump into my answers for some of these questions.
Putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm going to put Bryan on the spot, but like it's you have a similar background to Branden, but yeah, what were some of your first like bands that you got into and really got you into music?
Well, the first stuff was my parents' old music. Dad always played the same CDs, Styx.
Yeah.
We'd play Journey, and then
8 out of 6 is Chicago.
Chicago,
Yeah.
and then Mom had like the Beach Boys and Disney and the Nylons, things like that, and
Nice.
and then these two guys like introduced us to real music. No, the other stuff's great. I love classic rock and all of that.
Classic rock's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, really got into other things like Boston, and then they introduced us to Sonata Arctica and Stradivarius and Dream Theater, which I really enjoyed all 3 of those a lot. And then listening to the discs that they burned us of a whole bunch of different bands that I never really paid a whole lot of attention to who they were. I just listened to the songs like, yeah, I like this song. And
it is pretty cool because it's wild to think that like, man, like we've known these people for 20 plus years and everything, and it's crazy to think that like, dude, we were getting into all these bands and sharing all this music, and fast forward 20 years, we're on this 2025 heavy metal 70,000 tons of metal cruise. So it's crazy to look forward and be like, here we are today, But going along with some of your questions and everything, favorite show. So we're only doing the first one, and then
only doing the first one.
Only the
we'll
first
answer
one. Okay.
favorite show down the line.
Just doing the first one. What was for you? What was your favorite?
I mean, Stradivarius was really cool, but I think first place goes to that first Symphony X show.
Yeah.
It's the only show that we actually waited so that we could be at the front and everything. And honestly, we've seen Symphony X like 3 times and everything, and we were at the front for those shows as well. But like being in front of Michael Lepon while he's playing the bass and everything was just really cool, And so yeah, probably for me that was my favorite like show. Honestly, just being at the front with all of our friends and everything, it was a really cool experience, And so yeah, that's my pick for my favorite show.
What about you, Jake? What was your favorite experience or band or show?
It is a tough one. It is a tough one because honestly, that Symphony X show was super awesome. For me, it has to be the first Stradivarius concert by the. For me, it was just like. Dream come true. Like it was, as a kid, you're listening to music and you just loving it and getting to go to concerts and then just always wishing and hoping for Stradivarius one day. And it's kind of just like it's finally culminated into that experience. So, over time, maybe Symphony X will be, but for now, it's Stradivarius. Yeah.
Dude, super nostalgic too, because we've been listening to Stradivarius for like 20 plus years.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Having them play those songs and everything, just yeah, dude, that's a great pick. Yeah.
So never been on any show ever before, and here we are on this freaking heavy metal cruise.
Super
into the deep end.
Where we saw like so many shows, so many.
Just dove right in, and it was awesome. For me, my dream come true was that first Sonata show. in the Royal Theater. They played like all my favorite, well, not all my favorite songs, but you know.
Great selection.
Just great selection. It was awesome. I was pumped. The crowd was pretty much into it. I had no faults with it at all. It was just really freaking awesome show. But
and Full Moon, like that's
yeah,
like
Full
your
Moon.
jam.
That was really so Full Moon got me into Sonata Arctica. Sonata Arctica was like just really got me into power metal and moving on into other things, and that was my first introduction to my own taste in music.
Right on.
And Full Moon has always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Nice. What do you think, Bryan?
Well, Sonata Arctica was my favorite concert until we got to the poolside with Stradivarius, man.
Yeah.
That one just blew me away. I totally agree with Jake that one was an awesome show. And Symphony X was a really, really close second for me. Like, being up front was really cool. Although I was pissed that I got kind of boxed out, so I couldn't, like, I was kind of like standing like this, sideways. I'm like,
I gotta watch that crowd crush.
yeah, they kind of squeezed me back, but being right there in front of the bassist and watching them jam out and getting them all close up in front and
Heck yeah.
listening to the music, and
You're right there.
it was a great experience. I was close second, then Sonata was third for me.
Nice. So I might kind of say the same thing. I think my favorite was probably that Stradivarius poolside show. You know?
Got 3 votes for Stradivarius.
I mean,
we're outnumbered, kids.
I know. Symphony X is definitely a close second as well, because I felt like both of those shows, both artists were just perfect. Like their
really
playing
on
was
point.
just impeccable.
Yep.
Everything was on point. And yeah, for me, hearing a lot of those songs like Hunting High and Low or whatever, you know what I mean? Some of those classic songs, like 4,000 Rainy Nights, that was an awesome
great.
sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Like, that was sick. It was just great to see Stradivarius because, you know, we just, you know, I don't think they ever really tour America or anything, so we just never had the opportunity to see them before. So that was one thing that, it was kind of like echoing what Jake said, is kind of a dream come true to see them. Whereas I'd seen Sonata and Symphony X before, so it's kind of like I still loved their shows and stuff, but you know, Stradivarius was definitely something special. And we were up on the top part, and the wind was blowing really hard that night or whatever. But even with all that, the music just sounded so perfect, and all the songs they played from Survive were sick, and it was.
And the effect with their long hair blowing in the wind was
it like
so
added to
epic.
It did add to it, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was
They
like
didn't need wind machines,
all
they
the
had
hair blowing
natural
off
wind.
it looked good.
Yeah, it was something else. So let's move on to the second question. What was a disappointing moment or something you're disappointed about, like the whole experience?
Well, I'm kind of disappointed about being outnumbered here on that favorite, you know, but
Get over it, it's okay.
man, I'm not sure what my most disappointing moment is. Honestly, you know, back when I went on the cruise in 2018, there's certain shows, maybe my expectations were just either too high or just not measured. And I think this time going to the cruise and everything, maybe I just had a little bit more of a managed kind of expectations and everything. But honestly, most bands did a pretty good job. Yeah, there were some technical difficulties and some issues with some of the shows, and that's kind of like to be expected to some extent. But I don't even know if I want to pick out a single band as like the most disappointing, you know.
It
But
doesn't have to be like.
I know.
yeah. But like, man.
Oh, I know mine. I know mine disappointments.
I'll put it this way: like, we did do some meet and greets and everything. I guess the most disappointing thing was being rushed through, and all you could do is just, hey, thanks for the music, you know, get like a CD signed and everything. That kind of sucked, getting like rushed through and everything. I guess I'll do that. Like, I don't think I'm really gonna do too many meet and greets in the future, because it's like, you know, it eats up a lot of time when you could be going to a show or something, having an experience, and then just to be rushed along because the people are just like, yeah, they gotta go and everything, and then it's kind of disappointing, you know. So I probably won't do like meet and greet stuff anymore, you know.
I'd agree with that. I'd probably devote that time to seeing more shows instead.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of doing the meet and greet stuff. So I'll pick that. But
Unless you take the effort to be first in line, then it.
I still feel like meet and greet makes a lot more sense on like if you're in a location and there's nothing else happening around it, then there's no big deal. But on the cruise, meet and greet is just taking time that you could be at another show. So yeah, I can see just not bothering on the cruise.
Plus, it's like, I mean, you and I learned this years and years ago, where it's like, dude, don't idealize, you know, bands and stuff. They're people too. Sometimes they have good days, sometimes they have bad days and everything, and it's just kind of like, you know, you get so absorbed in the music and the lyrics and everything that you create this whole like epic vision of who these people are. And like, you know, then you meet them and then you're just kind of like, oh, well, they're just kind of normal, whatever.
They
people,
stick their pants
you know?
on one leg at a time,
Yeah.
just like the rest
And
of
so
us.
sometimes it's kind of nice to have a little bit of that like anonymity with the band, so that you could keep that sort of treasured view of the music and the lyrics and whatever, so that you can just have that
special connection.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and sometimes like meet and greet type stuff kind of ruins that whole illusion.
It's like it's like watching the behind the scenes of a movie. Sometimes it kind of ruins the magic of the movie in a way. I think. But,
what's your
mine? In my opinion, I got two. All right. This is not a big deal. One, dude, that was so annoying when the dude blew the cigarette smoke straight up, and then the other dude from there, and I turn around and it's from that dude.
I saw that. That was so funny because I see it and you're like, whoa. And then literally the guy walking down next to you, he goes like that. And he goes right.
So it was like and then and then I turn around, the dude right behind me is like literally smoking, seeing me do it, and he's just like.
Which show was this at?
He was right behind us, and so I turned around to
It was
breathe.
like a couple hours ago.
During the Hammerfall show, So
that Hammerfall is bad for smokers.
There was a lot of people smoking on the pool deck.
No, it was
and
Kalma.
Oh, maybe it was.
It was Kalma.
It was Kalma.
That's why I
yeah,
didn't see
it was Kalma.
But a lot of people were smoking and stuff, and like literally this guy's blowing smoke up to where we are.
Yeah, we're standing right above him, and he goes like,
and this other guy walks right next to Jake and just blows smoke right into Jake's face. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Like
that's rude.
Yeah.
I think it was just like a series of unfortunate coincidences, but yeah, that sucked. Honestly. And then the second thing, it's like, I don't know if I want to call out a band for anything specifically.
If you don't, I will.
I'm gonna just say whatever. I'm gonna say what's on our minds.
Come on, Jake. Just
let it out.
I know it's painful.
Yeah, dude, they didn't play White Pearl. Black Ocean.
I'm gonna agree with that sentiment. I guess for now, I'd probably just say like, I'd probably say the like, not honestness of it. Like, don't come on the cruise and say things that you're like, I'm totally for this, you know, support live music, and then don't act like you really want to be there, and don't do a good job. Not pointing any fingers, not saying anything.
Alright, well, I'll be the guy that points the finger, Jake. I know you didn't want to, but
your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment was the same band that was my biggest my best show. It was freaking Sonata Arctica, their second show on the poolside. Kevin told us this awesome experience he had on the poolside. They played White Pearl, Black Ocean.
2018.
They're on the cruise. They're on the freaking ship, and they're singing about a freaking ship. And
seems like a pretty ideal situation.
Instead, they do like several repeats, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, we heard these before, and then
and not just repeat, like they did it the day before at the last show.
Exactly.
So it's like you see that show, and then you see a lot of the same stuff.
And I'll admit, like,
and then you see the freaking vodkas
me
on.
personally,
again.
Like, I didn't feel like I was in the right headspace for that one. Also, like, I just didn't connect with it. There was one song that I enjoyed with that. It was "I Have a Right." Like, I got into that song, and that was it of the entire performance.
Right.
And that's just that whole set is like, it's disappointment after disappointment.
Wolf and Raven, My Land.
Yeah.
It was still a good show, but I understand exactly what you're saying, and the fact that they skipped out on doing White Pearl, Black Ocean, it's pretty
missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
They performed well. They were great. They were very professional. Just I didn't enjoy that show, and it was disappointing to me personally. And that's my beef. So
yeah.
Oh, that's all our beef.
Mine is actually a different one, but So before the whole cruise, Ian has been helping me go through a lot of the bands and introducing me to different guys. Say, hey, listen to this. What do you think? And one of the ones that I actually liked was Arcturus. And I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. I'm happy to see them live. And so the first night, I went to sleep. Midnight, I think it was, somewhere around there. And they were playing at 3 in the morning. So I set my alarm and got up with Jake, and we went down to see them. And
I did not get up.
he said, no, I'm too tired. But anyway, we sit down for the show, and we couldn't hardly hear the singer. The vocals were turned way down. It seemed like everything else was pumped up. And anyway, between all the lights flashing and strobing, not being able to hear the vocals, and I was tired, missing sleep, like getting up to do this. I was so disappointed. I wish I just stayed in bed.
It was a little bit of a letdown experience.
That makes sense.
So,
I hear you.
Yeah, me and Kevin were at that same show, but like we were in a different spot or whatever, and we like didn't know that Jake and Bryan, even though they like said they were waking up, but we didn't like know.
We were basically
or whatever.
in the 2 tiers,
and
separate
so
spots.
they were on the top part, and we could hear it fine, but they couldn't hear it on the balcony.
That's
part.
that's a
It's just
weird
kinda
thing.
weird.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about a lot of these venues is like you go to one area and the whole experience is totally different versus another area. You can hear some things, you can't hear other things, and it's
where you think a theater would be set up to where the sound travels well no matter where you are, but this one isn't.
I think they're struggling. Like it's already a lot, I think, to perform the show with everything functioning. So I think, getting acoustics down is probably
a little bit
a secondary concern
as they're setting up and breaking down
that
so
should be
many
just
shows.
how the theater is set up, like from the ship, not the tech's job. The theater didn't have the right things to balance the sounder out for a concert like that.
Yeah, for a metal concert.
It's designed more for acting and such, so
like an opera probably would have done fine.
Where I thought the theater would be the best place for the bands to perform, like most of my favorites were out on the pool deck, which is surprising to me. Like they sounded better, they were more energetic, and they were just a lot of fun.
It was a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Just laying it on the table.
So
I started it, so
yeah, definitely the biggest disappointment was not seeing White Pearl Black Oceans live, because it seemed like the perfect opportunity,
Oh, tell them about the time frame though, because
dude.
The time frame?
They said
we
we
have
have
one
one more
left.
song.
Oh yeah, and they had 15 minutes
15 minutes,
and then
15
one
freaking
more
minutes.
song, and then they
White
just
Pearl
do
Black
Don't
Ocean is
Say a Word, which I've already seen a couple times, and they always do it live, and it's a great song. It's, don't get me wrong, but you're saving that time to do one song and then do the vodka song? Are you kidding me? Like, I am so sick to death of the vodka song. I'm trying not to curse, but every freaking show doing the vodka song just adds, it takes more time, and it's kind of like, bro, come on, guys.
Fun the first couple times, but
for like 2 decades, like, come on, but I have other disappointments too, and I'll jump into those too. I missed Hearts on Fire from Hammerfall. Me and Jake left early to see Kalma because I really wanted to see Kalma. Just that the Swamp Song album. I don't love that album, but I really like that. Heroes
Track
to Us
1 and 2.
So we left early Hammerfall to check out that, and I was like, oh, it was really cool. So it's kind of like I caught one to miss the other one, and then you guys stayed at Hammerfall, and we just listened to Hearts on Fire, and I'm just like, well, F. So that would
we rubbed it in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. They would wake me up in the morning and go, dude, Hearts on Fire was pretty sick.
Well, and to be fair, sorry to interrupt you, but same thing happened for me with Fintroll, where it's like I was at the light set and everything, and I was like, I want to hear Troll Hammer on, but I had to use the bathroom real bad, and so I left early, and I'm like, they play Troll Hammer on, and then you're like, they did, and I'm like, and at first I was just like, you guys are screwing with me, but and so you can't see everything, you can't be there for every little bit, especially when a show ends right at 12 and the other one starts right at 12 and you're trying to get to another venue,
trying to run from venue to venue.
It's hard to see absolutely everything, but
to be fair, that first song of the show really was great. I loved that first show, so I'm not saying that it's just that second show was the one that
second show was disappointment.
The other disappointment for me was the signing thing. I kind of wanted to see the Covenant, but that was during the time of a signing, so I missed them. So it was kind of disappointments in as far as timing and stuff. But really, it's just the choice that you made. It's hard when you're choosing two good options. It's hard to. Now I probably would have skipped the signing and just go and see the Covenant.
Right,
I want to see
right.
Planet of the Apes, man. Like, or Acid Theater, or some of these other songs, you know. But
Right.
I think that's it, though. Like, that's it for disappointment. I know we probably dwell, but sometimes it's more fun to dwell on like the disappointments, because sometimes the positives are just so universal. It's like, of course we all loved these moments.
Yeah.
These moments
Right.
were awesome. But with that being said, even though we talked more about the disappointments, there are way more awesome things that we
Right.
saw
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
cruise.
Oh yeah, so many excellent shows.
Yeah,
and
the awesome
experience.
Yeah, the awesome moments
Yeah.
far outweigh the negative ones. You know, so anyway,
Agreed.
just throwing that out there in case.
Yeah,
anyone
we
thinks-
definitely trimmed it
Yeah.
back because it was going to be like, 5 favorite things and then 1 unfavorite. So I was like, no, let's
keep it
let's focus
small.
on just a
Yeah.
little bit right now.
So let's do
We
the
kinda
last
cheated
question.
a little
Oh,
bit, but
yeah,
go on.
yeah. Let's do the last question. What was something unexpected, like a nice surprise for you guys? We'll start with you, Kevin. Something that kind of like,
Yeah, unexpected. Man. It's funny because like when I'm at shows and everything, I really look at the drummers and everything. I look at like what they're doing and everything. I pay attention to like how tight they are and everything. Sometimes there's different things that go on with the sound and everything, so it just sounds like sloppier, and some of that might not be because of the playing, but the way that everything comes out of the system and everything, it's just anyways. But like man, something unexpected. I go through this rant about drummers and everything, but I guess I was pleasantly surprised with how good XDO was.
Mm.
You know, I was surprised with that. I was surprised with how good Septic Flesh was, especially
Yeah.
in the Studio B.
yeah,
But honestly, I think I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed the Swallow the Sun ballet. You know, that was a great like moment of just changing up the pace and everything. You know, and it just, I'm really glad we had this opportunity to go on the cruise and everything. And you know, there's definitely a lot of bands and a lot of different shows where I was surprised by one thing or another. Heck, I was surprised with how like jazzed up Russell Allen was, you know,
Yeah.
with the crowd and with the bandmates and everything.
Yeah,
like
he
that
was
dude
great.
that dude was great, you know.
Yeah.
Very connecting and everything, you know. So yeah, those are just some of the things I was surprised about, and you know, it was a positive experience. So yeah.
what about you, Jake?
For me, mine's kind of tied between 2 right now. So yeah, the Swallow the Sun ballet was unexpectedly awesome. Like, it really took that song. Like, if you haven't heard it, go check it out. But it's really long and it seems slow, very uninteresting in a way without the ballet. The ballet added a whole nother level I just didn't see coming. I was kind of like, I was hoping it'd be good, but it exceeded expectations. And then for me, the other unexpected thing, kind of tied for it, was you're talking about drummers. I kind of agree on this one. Dude, Benited's drummer,
Oh yeah.
dude, he was unexpected and awesome. Like, I really enjoyed that. Like,
And he had the glasses on and everything.
Yeah,
he
dude.
looked so.
he
just
looked
like,
so benign and
like
so
a library
chill.
dude.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see him like drinking a latte or something in
I know.
a library or bookstore or something.
Yeah.
And
And
then
he
he's
just
just
plays crazy drums.
like machine gun drumming, dude. It was sick, dude. So it was an unexpected one. I really enjoyed that show. So
Yeah. So for me, I haven't really delved into like the metal culture. It's people, how they act, how they experience metal music. I'm not around those kinds of people. I'm not that kind of person. I don't wear the t-shirts, you know.
Yeah.
And so like I did not expect for them to be so freaking goofy.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
watching these people do the stupidest stuff is like, I expect them to be like, yeah, heavy metal, this is sick. Oh, I eat nails for breakfast. And I'm like, these guys are just goofy.
It's like
Especially
everyone
with the
acting
costumes
tough,
and
walking
stuff.
around, and instead they're like,
and today's like a costume day, and that just took it to the next freaking goofy level. It's like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
such a
But-
weird clash. Yeah.
But honestly, like, everyone was like super nice, super chill, super like polite, and like, these are cool people. All right,
Yeah.
you know. They just have a tough-looking exterior, but they're all soft, cuddly, goofy teddy bears. So that surprised me.
What'd you think, Bryan?
I don't think I have anything else to add too much that hasn't been said already. Probably was most surprised by the ballet. Like, I didn't know what to expect from it. Like I said, like a doom metal band. Like I've never been interested in that music before at all. Like, it's slow and plodding and puts me to sleep every time. But man, that ballet, like it was powerful. It really was. Then going off my brother's comment about the costumes, like yesterday was costume day, but people were dressed up all week long.
And there was a lot.
Yesterday's most surprising was a man with coconut bra, a tutu, and lobster claws.
Lobster man.
His big hairy chest and back sticking out for everyone to see.
He was hairy too. He was hairy, man.
And running around and
everyone, little lobster girl, and
but
those are the most surprising.
That was probably the most surprising was the things you never thought you'd see on a cruise.
Yeah, true. I think for me, most surprising, I was surprised that like, except for one night, like sleeping wise, like I was out like most of the time, you know, like that was kind of nice. So like the quarters and stuff, like it wasn't as like, you know, all right, let's make it work. You know, it wasn't, you know what I mean? It was pretty comfortable.
Sleep when you can, and
it was pretty comfortable. The food was really good. As far as surprise, it's funny because I was thinking this as you guys are going, but then as soon as you guys shared all yours, I'm kind of like, man, what am I most surprised about?
Sorry to interrupt you real quick. It's funny because, dude, for 7 years I've been telling you stories about the cruise. And I know that like you've probably had a sort of mental image of what the whole experience is gonna be like, and of course layout, you know, different floors, elevators. Now you've been here and everything, so you have like the whole independence of the seats. Now you have you can match, you know, your mental projection of the cruise and your actual experience of the cruise and everything, and put them together now. So that's probably a new sort of, you know, experience.
I think I was surprised at how much I did really enjoy the benighted shows. Like I already liked them before, but just seeing them live and how on point they were, you know, I think I was like, man, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. Like it wasn't like the highest stuff in my list of things to see, but I still wanted to make sure to catch those sets. I think that might have been the most surprise. I was surprised that Ex Deo. Oh, I was surprised about Septic Flesh's first track. That kind of blew me away. Vampire Nazareth or whatever. When they played that in Studio B, I was like, dude, that song like gave me chills as it was going, and I was just like, man, this is sick. Like I already liked the Great Mass album, but I was just kind of like, Kevin likes Septic more than I do, but I was kind of like, I get it. And that was another thing I was surprised too. Like online, I always heard people talking about how crappy Studio B and the Lounge is or whatever, like sound wise and stuff, and like how good the other two are, and to me, honestly, Studio B was pretty awesome. The only time it wasn't as good is when you and I sat for Kalma on the side, and we couldn't really hear it as well, you know? But it was because we were, like, on the very far side.
Yeah, we were really,
you know?
we were already, like, out of the range of the speaker. So we only got one speaker's sound, and it was pretty diluted because it wasn't really pointing at us.
But, like, the rest of the time, sitting in that little, like, middle area facing the stage, Studio B sounded awesome. And the Lounge, like, also I thought sounded like pretty good too. I only saw like a couple shows there where like maybe one or two.
For me,
like,
the only problem with the Lounge was not really getting to see, because the stage is only you know, like a foot off the ground, and the roof is only, you know, 2 feet higher than your head. So you're really looking through people's hands and heads, and you're barely seeing the band. So I thought, the sound wise, the Lounge was fine, but Studio B was. Honestly, I'm feeling Studio B. I had the best experiences there. That was probably my favorite. I kind of wish I had been at the Septic Flesh one. Because I went to bed for that one. I think I would have liked to stay up for that one.
And it's funny because like most of the technical problems were with like the Royal Theater or like, you know what I mean? Or like the poolside. Another disappointment. Sorry, I'm thinking I forgot about to mention this one. I did want to see Crown Shift. But in the first one, like they were having technical problems on the pool deck, and then we were like gonna see another show. So it was like, okay, well, this is like already starting late, and then,
they were like
they played one song, and then they had to fix something. So it was like, okay, well, we'll just watch it at the Royal Theater, you know?
Later.
And there was a funny part whenever people were yelling "Freebird" in the audience or whatever, and then the singer, dude, very deadpan, he's like, "What? Freebird? Okay, everyone, 1, 2, 3, Freebird!" You know, and like that was just that just made us all laugh.
Free
It was just
beer?
very, yeah, oh, free beer.
What the F is free beer?
Like, it was like everyone wanted them to just play this song while they're waiting for the stuff to get fixed, and he was just like not like either on purpose or on accident. He was just not like registering this. So then he was just saying all this like random. Anyways, that was funny.
That was crap.
And then, but I was disappointed that we tried seeing them again, and we were down in the bottom, and the bass was cranked really loud.
So,
I didn't have
my
my
gosh,
I didn't have my earplugs in, and my ears were just hurting after like the first song or two, and I was
Like,
kind of
our
like,
entire
dude,
bodies
I
were
got it.
vibrating.
I was
Yeah.
I was glad I had the earbuds, but even without them, it was like it felt like it was almost gonna hurt my chest. Like it was vibrating so intensely. You could feel it in your throat. You could feel it all over your face.
So it was kind of like it was one of those
Yeah.
bands where it's like I already liked how they sounded on the record and stuff. Like they sounded great, but then it just didn't really work
Sound
out.
balance didn't work.
Sound balance and stuff didn't
And the
work.
pool one got wrecked.
Technical difficulties because they started
yeah.
like 18 minutes late on the pool, and they played one song, and then they had more
Then they had
technical
more,
difficulties. So
yeah.
they stopped. So we're just like, we'll just watch it later. And then so
Yeah.
we left, and the next time it was just
So some of that
sound balance was totally
this
off.
probably isn't even Crown Shift's fault, you know. Like
No, I don't think it
But
was.
you know, that was just something that was also kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got a lot of.
Yeah. So I had one more
that's-
thing that I thought of, an original thought for the biggest surprise, and that was our destination. Like when we signed up for this, like I don't think any of us really knew or cared that we were going to Jamaica.
That's true.
Yeah.
Where are we going
And
anyway?
my
Who
family and my
cares?
friends thought I was absolutely crazy that I'm going on a cruise and I don't know or care where we're going, and I didn't plan to get off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so many people.
and then when we
asked
found
me.
out, like, yeah, okay, we're going to Jamaica, and like, and you're not going to get off and do anything, like. No, we're not there to go to Jamaica. We're there to hear some music.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We're here to party on the freaking boat, guys.
Yeah.
We want to hear some awesome concerts. We want to chill with friends, like.
Yeah.
And then, so on the excursion day, we all just sit and we played some Magic, and we talked and visited and had a good time. And
Planned out the next days for what
Planned-
shows to see. Yeah.
then as soon as the show started up again, we were first in line for those.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do some final thoughts and everything, and then close out the video and everything?
That sounds good to me.
But yeah, you can close it out, bro.
Okay. Yeah. What are your final thoughts, Kevin?
Well, my final thoughts
brother.
is like, dude, this was a great experience. I knew it was gonna be fun. I knew it was gonna be enjoyable and everything.
Yeah.
I was telling all you guys earlier today that, like, dude, I'm glad that we were able to see a ton of shows, and it was definitely a workout. You know, we definitely like wore ourselves out and everything, but I didn't feel like I was like pushing myself to the brink. I didn't feel like I was totally exhausted, you know, so it was like manageable. I liked the way everything was set up and everything. There wasn't too many conflicts that we couldn't handle. And I was just pleasantly surprised with how everything went, you know, and it's just been a great time and everything. And so, yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of seconding that, really. It's like really grateful to have been here, to have experienced it as a group, especially.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't do a lot of research on a metal cruise, like who would have thought, right? So I would have never probably found it. And it's just cool to experience new bands, new sounds, just seeing people. That's really awesome. So,
Yeah.
really happy.
And first time experiencing concerts, really freaking amazing. Way to do it. Highly recommend. Just
Jump off in the deep
just
end.
jump right in. Just
hit 'em all.
Welcome to the show.
Don't put a toe in.
Just keep live music alive, guys.
You're done? Okay. Yeah, so kind of like him, I've never been in any concerts before, and this was an awesome experience. Being with my best friends growing up, and then their friend that we met through these guys
Awesome,
as we
dude.
visited occasionally. The last time we were all together was when you got married, like
Yeah.
10, 11 years ago now. And
Yeah.
so this has been an awesome time seeing some of my favorite bands, like, ever.
With our favorite people.
With favorite people.
And just to add, you know, Jenny was here as well, my wife and everything. She enjoyed the cruise also, but she went to sleep. So, anyways, but the only word she has to say is awesome cruise. Well,
Heck yeah.
2 words.
2 words. Awesome.
Yeah. I think my last thoughts is, yeah, it was a really fun time. It was cool to do this just with your friends and just have make new memories and stuff. You know, I'm grateful for the bands putting on amazing shows. Grateful for the staff. You know, grateful for everybody a part of this. Thankful for 70K. Like, it was just a great experience. You know, because you know, at the end of the day, these are the memories that you're going to be able to remember until you're old and you forget. You know, so you know, it's a good time. So, anyways, those are just kind of like our thoughts or whatever. Let's get some sleep so that we could get off this boat tomorrow morning. But
kicking
yeah,
us off nice and early.
yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was fun or informative, and have a good day. Peace out.